All right, folks, what is going on? This is episode 526 of the First and Frame Rate Show. I am VF Baller. Over here, we talk about Georgia Southern and Atlanta Falcons football. And I was prepared to talk about Georgia Southern football. I was prepared to talk about them, but this came across the wire, and I want to apologize a little bit. I want to apologize to you guys because I wasn't really paying attention to what the Falcons were doing throughout this entire week. They've been at the East and West Shrine Bowl scouting. And I think this is something that we need to really think about. All this speculation that we have across the wires, whether it be through regular media, through the legacy media, through the YouTube world of content creators. I think one thing that we've forgotten about is that these guys are working. Yeah, I talked about Coach Clay Helton, all the recruiting that he's doing at Georgia Southern, but we also have to acknowledge that the Falcons are actually working as well. Now, last week, I did an episode about the quiet part of the offseason. Once again, it was just quiet that week because this week, Terry Fontenot and Coach Arthur Smith are preparing to look at talent at the Shrine Bowl. These guys never stop. And I'm going to tell you something. We got some good guys in the front office for the Atlanta Falcons. So I know I got this Georgia Southern stuff on, but I'm going to talk about these Falcons because this is way too important. And I want to end the week off on this, this really good story. And I hope you guys enjoy it. If this is your first time here, welcome. I can be found on YouTube and Rumble. I'm also on Anchor, Stitcher, Spotify, Apple, and Google Podcasts. Find your way to one of those avenues to listen to the podcast and subscribe to the channel, YouTube and Rumble, because there could be a situation where one of these avenues don't work, but the other one do, and you can get the information or you get the episode either way. I really would appreciate it. Also, the show is brought to you by BetUS. Go to that link, click it. Hit that link, put down $100, get 100% bet book bonus, and you can put wagers down on anything that they put out there from NFL, MMA, NBA, MLB, esports, college ball, anything under that umbrella. You can put down wagers. You can double, triple, even quadruple your money. Check that link out. Also, if you want to support the channel, whether it be through likes, sharing, subscribing, you want to hit the Cash App to give me any type of monetary donation, I really would appreciate it. It's not needed, but I really would appreciate it either way. I also have a PayPal as well. So I done got through all of that. I want to talk about this. Now, I knew that these guys were going down there, but I kind of swept it under the rug, didn't think much of it. But I know as of this recording, the Shrine Bowl is going to be taking place. I'm going to take a glance at it before the night is over, see who's out there balling, and I'm going to give you my assessment of who I thought was looking good at the Shrine Bowl, and hopefully this will be something that Terry Fontenot and Coach Arthur Smith, since they're going to be coaching the game, have their eyes on whoever that they're going to see. Maybe I can see something as well, and maybe it will link up to both of those conclusions. There's a really good article on AtlantaFalcons.com. I highly recommend you guys check that out. I read through it. I'm not going to go through it word for word. I'm just going to give you my thoughts and opinions on what is taking place here. You guys have to understand that the Atlanta Falcons, they have been putting things in place from Arthur Blank, bringing in Terry Fontenot and Arthur Smith. The whole situation with Dan Quinn, all that stuff is pushed aside. We're in a new era, and it is showing. Even when we had Thomas Dimitrov here, they did their share of scouting and going places and doing this and that. But for some reason, what Terry Fontenot and Arthur Smith is doing, it just feels different. It looks different. It feels different. It looks like they're trying to make it happen. And one thing I love about Terry Fontenot, that he's been a pro scout. He's been a pro scout pretty much the last 10, 15 years with the New Orleans Saints. So he knows how to search for talent just as well as, any other guy who's going out to the scout. So when you have a guy like that who's been looking at talent and wanting to bring the right guys in, and he talks the talk and he walks the walk, and you're starting to see the fruition with a Desmond Ridder or a Drake London or a Tyler Algier, or you look at the other guys like Evan Kete or even with Richie Grant, you look at all these guys who came in under this regime, and you're starting to see some type of production out of these guys. The D'Angelo Malones, Troy Andersons. You look at what we have here. These guys know what they're doing, and I think this is something that I feel like I need to take the task on to start paying more attention to is the scouting aspect of what the front office is doing. This is something that I feel like I'm guilty of overlooking this week, that these guys are down there evaluating talent. So one or two, maybe three of these guys that are playing in this Shrine Bowl will become an Atlanta Falcon, because we have not only just insight from the stands or we're looking from afar, we're coaching in this game. And Terry Fontenot is the eye in the sky looking down at the coach, and they're getting two different perspectives where Coach Arthur Smith is coaching and he's looking from up there. They're getting a really good evaluation on the talent that's on the field. It doesn't even have to be the team that they're coaching. It could be somebody on the opposite side of the field, which I think the Patriots, Bill Belichick is down here, which is another great coaching mind. So they're all sharing ideas together. They compete against one another. I know the whole history, Patriots, Falcons, whatever the case may be. But there still is a fraternity of guys who still share ideas and work together that become better. Iron sharpens iron. You're not going to sit here and tell me that Coach Arthur Smith is not getting any knowledge from Coach Belichick and vice versa, because even though he's accomplished so much, he still has no problem. And I don't even know the guy, but I'm pretty sure he has no problem talking ball with a fellow coach. That's just for any coach out there. No, they're not going to give you those game plan secrets of what they're going to do in the season or what their playbook is like. No, but just talking basic coaching. What do they see in a player? What do they see in that player? What do they see in a prospect, or whatever the case may be? So it's just really, it's really a good space for the Falcons to be in. And like I said, I think one thing that gives us an advantage when you have a Terry Fontenot who's been a pro scout, who's know how to evaluate players, assess the makeup, find the character of a player that could fit what the Falcons are trying to put together, is such a big bonus for us. And I think this is something that we need to start taking heed to, because I don't think that we really talk about this or think about this enough, that the last two seasons, even though they weren't as successful as a lot of fans wanted to be, we did fairly good for ourselves. And you could tell that we're actually doing something in the right direction, because these last two seasons, collectively, we should have won 7 games. Collectively, in the two seasons. But we managed to win 14, albeit we end up losing, 20, but, 7-10, considering the situation, is not bad, because we should have been worse. But it just goes to show you what the makeup of this team is starting to be. It is not that finesse team that we had back in the day. It's not that, just straight pushing people over all over the place when it comes to, just running the ball. Now, I know that sounds crazy because I know that Tyler Algier is done, but we're trying to get a balance of both. You see the Drake Londons and the Kyle Pitts of the world going out there and being aggressive in the passing game. But you turn around and you see the Cordell Pattersons and the Tyler Algiers running people over. Caleb Huntley running people over. We're not trying to be one-dimensional, but the problem was the quarterback made us kind of one-dimensional. But I think that's going to change. And we're going to see how much more of that's going to be when we do see what scouts, what players that we bring in. And it all starts with this Shrine Bowl, in my opinion. I think, really, this is where it really begins. You talk about, the free agency. We got rumblings out there that Aaron Rodgers might be coming to the team. I believe when I see it. I don't think it's going to happen, to be quite honest. I don't think it's going to happen, and I'm okay with that. But when you look at what this team is trying to do, I think they're still just trying to build what they have from the standpoint where they started and just continue to push forward. I don't think that, I think we will probably end up getting a quarterback, maybe late in the draft, maybe early, depends on what this makeup is going to be. But I think we're going to get a quarterback. I don't think we're just going to have Desmond Ridder and Felipe Franks and I don't even know if Marcus Mariota's coming back. I say dump the $12 million, forget it, and just go get another quarterback, whether it be a veteran or whatever the case may be. We're going to get another quarterback, and we don't know if they're going to be QB1. Just don't know how that's going to play out. But at the same time, you're going to get the type of players that this team wants. And when you start seeing the rumblings of who's going to be here, the thoughts and opinions are going to start, flying or whatever the case may be, then you're going to really understand, like, okay, this is going to be solidified. That's going to be solidified. We're going to be running this. We're going to be running that. But it all starts with what these guys are doing at the Shrine Bowl. It's just literally where it starts. I think that like I said earlier, what Terry Fontenot and Coach Arthur Smith, the GM and the coach, what they're doing is really starting to get a head start of all this other stuff going on. Super Bowl hasn't even finished yet. The Pro Bowl hasn't even finished yet. And these guys are already out here getting it in. And you can't really, fault anything of that. It's just a phenomenal thing. So I'm going to be watching the parts of the Shrine Bowl, see who sticks out based on what we need, what player just going to stand out, what we probably can't miss on, just the small little intangibles of who's going to be out there. And hopefully we'll see how it lines up. I may even do another episode, or I may just do a video on what I saw in the Shrine Bowl and who I felt stand out and who could be a really good fit for this team. It's going to be really interesting to see. Hopefully we'll see how that plays out. So if you like this commentary, hit the like button, share this podcast, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Let me know what you guys think. Do you think that this is a situation where we could get a step ahead of a lot of the competition on who's out there as far as scouting with us being at the Shrine Bowl? I think this is a really good opportunity. It's a phenomenal opportunity for the Falcons to continue to take that step ahead, to possibly start getting in one of those prominent teams in the NFC. It has to start somewhere. So let me know what you guys think. I can be found on YouTube and Rumble, also on Anchor, Stitcher, Spotify, Apple, Google Podcasts. Click that link down there for BetUS. Also, if you want to donate, you get the Cash App. The Cash App link is down there. Also, PayPal. If you want to donate, I really would appreciate it. Either way, long as you guys are here, I really, really definitely appreciate it. You guys have made this week another phenomenal week. I thank you guys once again. I will be back to give you some thoughts and opinions about the Shrine Bowl this weekend. And we'll definitely be back with episode 527. So we'll go with that. All right, y'all. Y'all take it easy. Thank you guys once again. And y'all be blessed. Peace.